Chicago. We got a very special guest in the building today. And yeah, Hannibal Buress is in the building. Make some noise.
Yo. What's happening, y'all?
Man.
Hey.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, Nudia. We got another special guest in the building today too, Chicago. Nudia in the afternoon is here in the morning with us today.
Oh.
All right, y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we all good. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Excited to be here, man. Excited. Good to see y'all.
We excited to bring you back. It's good to catch up with you. You know, you were here some time ago. How does it feel to make your way back to Vocalo first and foremost?
It's nice, man. You know, it's I was realizing, because I've been super excited about getting this song out, and I realized I haven't had a true drop in probably 3 years or something, because when I put out my last special, Miami Nights, that was July 2020, so I didn't go outside or do any movements for that. I did all the press from the crib on Zoom and stuff, and phoners. And before that, 2019, I think we did a premiere event for it, a screening, so that was kind of a fun thing. But besides that, I really haven't, I haven't dropped anything in a minute. I've done some work, so it's nice to put some energy behind something I'm really excited about. So it's a fun day, man. We got the show tonight, and I'm enjoying the record, and we've been teasing it for a few months, so. I'm in a real good space right now. Yep.
Now, hearing you say 2020, to even put out music around that time.
Yeah.
For you, what was something? Was it impactful for you? Was it difficult? Like, what was that time like for putting out music for you? What was that like for you?
I put out this track, Judge Judy,
And it has a sample from her, right?
Yeah, it has a sample from Judge Judy in
You
there.
haven't got hit with that subpoena yet, or?
Nah, but she can have it. I don't even like that song like that. Any resistance on it, sure, I'll take it down. I don't care.
don't get the real judge
whatever.
involved.
It's like whatever. You can take everything I've made off of the Judge Judy record. I'm ashamed of it now. Not ashamed of it, but it's just not one of my favorites. So I put that out. It got, we got a little bit of blog coverage and whatnot and things like that, but it wasn't, I don't connect with it like I connect with the music I'm making right now, the music I've made more recently. And putting out the special during that time was weird, man. It was just because I was doing these television shows from my house, and then you're so wired. Because you get so used to those, the transition parts of when you do press of, I get in the car and then I go to the lobby and I wait for a little bit, I get me a water and then I do, is this versus just you do it and then you just in your house.
Yeah. No,
and it's no kind of wind down. Okay, then I walk out and then maybe I grab a snack and so I remember.
Because you can't go anywhere. You're like, I can't go get a drink. I can't go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
All this other stuff. Like, let's stop here. Let's stop here right afterwards. And let's get And so I remember I did a daily show with Trevor Noah on Zoom or Skype. And then I remember just being in the crib. Huh? And it was all this energy because, I knew that was going to be television, but it just felt so weird. So that's why it does feel exciting now to move around and talk to people and engage and all of that. Because I hadn't done that in a while around a project. It's fun, man. It's fun.
Now, speaking of music, I gotta ask you. You're known in the comedy world. You're known in the acting world.
Yeah.
Which came first? Was it music? Was it comedy?
Music was before comedy.
Okay.
Music. I played saxophone in 3rd and 4th grade, and I recorded my first songs either in the year 2000 or 2001 with my homie Dave. And I started comedy in 2002. So I started doing music before I did comedy. Comedy I got addicted to comedy early, and it was easy to lock in on it. And music at the time, when I started, didn't seem as feasible.
Okay. When you say season, you talking about like financially or just something that...
It didn't seem... It was a different time. It was 2002, so it was very major label driven at that time. It was very... there was independent scenes, but it didn't seem like you could really...
It wasn't like now.
It wasn't like now where you could be your own machine in a way. Mm-hmm. Whereas the comedy game at that time had more avenues. Where you had Comic View, you had Comedy Central. There are comedy clubs around the country where you could work as a opening act. There's not hip hop clubs in the same sense. There's not that same circuit and system for up and coming. So it just didn't. It wasn't as in plain view back then for me. But I stayed parallel to it through hosting events and doing skits on friends' albums and things like that, and battle rapping, and always freestyled, and kept it close to my heart. But it didn't feel like something I could really go after until I started. After I got my footing within entertainment, and I remember around 2011, 2012 was when I started dabbling with the idea of, I should do a mixtape, I should do, and so I would do things here and there, but didn't fully lock in on a project. So I did Gibberish Rap 2012 and kept making stuff, but didn't fully lock in until a couple years ago.
I know I first saw you. I was telling Bekoe, we have a lot of team meetings and stuff, but I saw you come out at Pitchfork, and I didn't even know you did music.
Oh, when I popped out with the Roots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you came out, and I was like, what, is that really... And then my program director, Ayana Contreras, shout out to our boss lady, but she's like, oh yeah, he does music.
Yeah.
And so how did you come out with the Roots? Did they call you?
No, they're not calling me for that. They didn't. Nah, I'm not there yet. That was you gotta annoy Questlove a little bit. It happens through persistence and follow up.
And if I remember, you battled someone on stage too, right? We're a couple Trulies in.
I don't think it was a battle. I think we was just rocking out. I was not in a space to battle Black Thought. I was just happy to be there.
Oh, what?
Yeah. It wasn't a battle, but it
sounded a little bit like a battle.
It felt like a battle to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't in that. I was there as a fan and a new artist. If it was a battle, then I didn't receive that energy.
That wasn't the intention. That was not the intention.
I didn't receive that, but it was really surreal and fast. It was cool. I appreciate, shout out to Questlove and Black Thought and the Roots for allowing that to happen, because it was cool. That was a really dope weekend. Actually, I did a bunch of shows that weekend, and it was the first time I was able to do music at the pace and rate that I've done stand-up before, because I did that week. It was on Tuesday, I did the 606 open mic at Subterranean. Then I performed at United Center with John Mulaney.
Oh, wow.
Then I did Silver Room Block Party. Oh, and then that Saturday at the Silver Room Block Party, before that I did a DJ set. I did a DJ Burger Feet set at Pitchfork. And then with the Silver Room, and then on Sunday popped out with the Roots, and then did my own show at Empty Bottle. And so it was a nice run of shows at home, and that kind of, and then the next day is when we recorded Knee Brace, actually, because it was just
you're filled with the energy. You had all the energy going.
I love how you remember the whole lineup of that week.
Some people, it'd be a
blur. It'd be a blur for some, but no, you remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember the movements. I remember it was an exciting time. I remember the outfits that I had on, and because I got you got video too. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's part of it also. That I got the visuals to help aid the memory also, and it was just it was an important time for my career. Like as I keep going with music, that weekend is a pivotal moment.
What made that moment for you pivotal?
Just the activity. Just because before that, because I put out the project in April, and I would do shows here and there. did a couple shows on the day that the day after it came out on 420, and I did Wisconsin Fest and maybe did scattered open mics and stuff, but wasn't really active. And that was the first time I kind of got active and did, doing back-to-back shows without touring either, to be able to do that many shows locally and staying in the same spot. So then from there, it was just good momentum. And then I had Adult Swim Fest in August and did Knitting Factory, last show at Knitting Factory in New York. And so that just, I got into the groove of, performing and rehearsing a lot. Yeah.
So, I have a question. When you switch, obviously so many people have passions and stuff. So, but when you tell people, especially your team or your family and friends, that you're changing the direction of your career, because you kind of are moving away from comedy and focusing more on music, how does everyone around you react to that? Are they like, are they like, go for it? How does that work? Because you so successful in comedy.
Right. It's not really that. It's not a conversation in that sense. It's more just, I'm just sending music. I'm not like, hey, I'm doing this, guys. It's just, they see. I'm inviting to shows and all of that. But it's been some folks that, on the business side that want me to.
That's what I was wondering. The business
wasn't acceptable.
The numbers.
Not acceptable. It's just numbers. It's just people that operate in the finance department or
well, they're like, you're doing so well. What I can imagine people saying that.
Sure,
you're killing it in
it's
comedy.
You gotta do what feels good and not just do what's there. That's how I am operating now, and so I just believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that I'll be able to get the music to the level that my comedy was at and beyond, because music travels better anyways. It just is more universal. I got favorite Brazilian musicians. I don't have no favorite Brazilian comedians, because you don't need the flow or melody is universal. I'm having conversations about touring in Asia, in Bali, in Indonesia, and Korea, and these are conversations I wasn't having as a stand-up, but I'm having those off of my first project with the music. So it's always been something. And so the folks that's really close and know me just know that this is natural progression, and I like the unknown, and just the what will happen, and it's more exciting for me. I don't know what's about to happen. This is just being able to react to information and checking the lineup of stuff. Okay, the Roots isn't. Let me try. Let me ask to see if I can go.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can do that. And so it's put me in the space of, in that up and comer space that I was in when I was younger, and I think. Yeah, Eshu is a different guy than Hannibal in that sense. Eshu's probably closer to Hannibal at 23, 24. In the sense that HB is more of probably a homebody recluse, but Eshu go out and try to make stuff happen and is really active. So it's a good space, man, and it just makes me, I'm just excited to be moving, excited to collaborate and create and just get better and not even worried too much about the current moment. Enjoying it, but knowing that I'm building towards something different and bigger from a skill level, where my show right now, I think it's solid, but it's not what I wanted to be in 5 years. I mean, I still I'm terrible playing the drums, but I got drums, so I want to learn drums. I'm terrible at keys, so it's going to take some time to get to where I'm able to play keys, play drums live, and then bring those into my show. So that's what I'm working towards, is just being a complete musician beyond just the vocals and the rap and making music.
Before we jump into this music break, man, it sounds like music has brought you back home in a way. Like it makes what you do a lot more fun again.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's easier to be in flow state live with music. Meaning, I don't, when I'm doing comedy and somebody has their phone out, it's hella distracting when because I'm not as locked in. I could be locked in, but if somebody 6 feet away from me with their phone, I'm like, Jesus Christ, please put it out. Stop a joke. I'll stop a story. But in the music, I'm doing a song. You know what I mean? Sure, take it out. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me as much. It's a lot more fun for me, and I still have elements of comedy within the music and within the show itself. It's just I'm not doing as much live stand-up comedy. I'm not looking to do 7 shows a week all the time. But I got a comedy club gig in Charlotte next month. It's my only weekend that I'm doing comedy this year. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just. Also, it's just because this music game is expensive, so I gotta go. Yeah. I gotta go grab the
bag real quick.
I gotta go hit the day job real quick. But I'm still gonna do Tune. They ain't gonna get just a regular comedy show. I'm doing at least 5, 6 in that setting too. So it's a fun space to be in now because I see. When I am doing comedy, it's in a strategic space versus just doing it just because I'm able to do it all the time. I'm doing it. And so then when I do these shows, it's going to be from a fun spot. It's going to be with musical elements. It's going to be from a sense of what is this doing to move the music forward. And also I'm going to add some music shows in the daytime. We're going to do the comedy club probably 7 o'clock, 9:30 shows. And then I'll probably do a matinee 2 o'clock at a separate venue with the band. And push it like that.
So I was gonna ask you about your look, and we're gonna save it for the radio.
Sure.
Because I saw this comment on YouTube, and it made me laugh. It says, Hannibal is like the hilarious nerdy kid on the 9th grade that came back from summer vacation in the 11th grade, all cool and hot. So like the makeover, you agree with it, right?
I don't. It's not as calculated as folks think. It's just hair. Really, it's just really hair. That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, you were rocking the glasses for a little bit too.
I haven't rocked glasses for a minute. I had some. Yeah, it's just the hair, and I in 2020 I was thinking about getting fake dreadlocks. Actually,
what?
I thought about it. Just it was May 2020, man. We was at the house.
You was finna get some false locks.
Why not? I was just like, what matters?
That's what people that money did in 2020. They're like, let's just buy stuff. Let's just.
What's so what? Just fake them. I don't care.
Did you see how they went on Jimmy Butler when he got the fake locks?
It's all right, but he's still okay. He made it through that.
You saw he took the things off though.
You know what they do? You know what's funny? On the NBA highlights YouTube, they still use the locks as the thumbnail.
They do.
For the mic. You know what I'm saying? I click every time I see it. They must have A/B tested that. They're like, this is what the people want. And they're right. You're right, robots. That is what we want.
Well, we were talking about that catch. But so what encouraged you to grow your locks? Because I've had locks before. I had 3 sets.
Yeah.
And he was an artist too.
Yeah.
He used to rap, and that's when he had his locks.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
And then now we have we have a health insurance benefits 401k Bekoe with us now.
Okay.
That's the with the lineup, the number 2.
That's what she said. You're right. You're right about that. So I mean, locks. When you grow out your locks, it's like it does something for me. It did something to me. I feel like it changes you mentally. So what encouraged you to grow out your locks?
I started getting it twisted last year, and it just kept on going. I'm like, okay, I like how this looks. It's just like how it looks and like how it feels, and it just keeps on growing. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And also, I'm about to be 40, so I have to embrace
your hair,
the maximum hair that I can get before it start going. And so I look back, I just had a low, season even all around for years, as if that was the only haircut I could get or something. And so now it's just, let me just grow this out. And there's unexpected benefits from it. That stuff that I didn't do it for, but now that happens. Like if I'm driving with the windows down and the wind hit it, I'm like, that feels fantastic.
Yeah.
Hair blowing in the wind.
But wait till they get long and you go for a swim.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
You might not come back up.
Yeah.
It gets heavy. It's real heavy. I'm telling you, man. When we came back from the break, I heard you were saying like it's almost like alter ego. Mm-hmm. You were saying, hey, he don't get up this early. And you feel like he got you back to your 23, 24-year-old self. What's some other interesting things about Eshu Tune as well?
I think it's the real more energy and just as far as the performances and energy on stage, that's where it's really bringing it. I tap into it. And just ambition too, because just having a stage name and allow me to separate it. Just okay, I can go do open mics a lot. I don't. Eshu is 6 people in the crowd. Sure, that's fine. Still, let's do it. That type of thing, and not really tripping about it. Eshu is spending Hannibal's money to pursue his dreams.
You did say music is expensive.
Yeah, it is, and it's gonna even out soon. But yeah, no, Eshu it's just like you're taking care of your inner child and stuff too, and especially when you're pursuing your art, you gotta parent yourself. They say sometimes, and so that's been part of it also. It's just doing the stuff I want to do creatively, and figuring it out.
Some people don't know, but there's a meaning behind Eshu Tune as well. Can you break things down?
Eshu is the trickster god from Nigerian mythology. So I was looking up names, and I had a couple other ideas. One of them was Wabansia Joe.
Wait. What?
Wabansia Joe?
Wabansia, Wabansia, that's the street on the west side, the hideout song.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe is what people in Chicago say. And so Wabansia Joe, but then it didn't feel, it felt like something I would be mad that I was calling myself in 6 weeks. I was like, we got all these Wabansia Joe flyers. I want to do all these Wabansia Joe shirts. But I liked it, but not like that.
I'm sorry, but I would never look at Joe the same now.
Wabansia Joe. That might still be a character in my world or something, maybe make him up, maybe feature on a song or something.
Keep him in your back pocket.
But it didn't feel like the name. Another idea we had was Theory of Mind, which is just, I forgot what Theory of Mind was. Like you think, I forget the details of it, but look that up. And then I looked up African mythology and then read the description and the breakdown of Eshu, and I said, that's it. Because it just kind of fit with stuff I've done in the past and pranks, and I connected with it a lot. It just felt right. And I said, okay, I could. And then I kind of fast forwarded 7 years. And I'm like, okay, would I still be cool if we call it Eshu 7 years from now? I was like, yeah, I could do it. I like that. And then just went with it. And it was good.
So my last ex, you were our first and last date. We actually went to go see you. Like the first date we ever had was in Vegas, and we went to a show, your show. And I should have known there's a bunch of bad omens. It was raining.
House Blues?
Huh? No, it was Fremont Club. It was a smaller venue in Vegas, and it was raining. People on Twitter were saying you were going to cancel the show, but it ended up happening, and it was a horrible relationship after that. And then the last date we went on, it was in Arizona. You were opening for Dave Chappelle, and you made like literally I broke up with him because you made a joke.
Oh Lord.
And hold on.
Oh Lord.
No, you made a joke. No, it actually saved me. It really did save me. So you had this joke in your show. I don't want to butcher it, but you might remember it. Something about how like you can't date women in their mid or later 30s because if you don't fulfill your promise and marry them, they'll like curse you. They'd be like, you wasted all this time. You wasted my youth. And he was laughing way too hard at that. He was laughing so hard. And at that point, I wasn't in my 30s yet, but I was heading there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this man is going to ruin my life. Like, he's laughing because he knows things are funny when they're true. He knows he's ruined women's lives. And he was laughing way too hard at that joke. And that was actually my saving grace. It saved me from that messy relationship.
Dang.
And see, that's why I do music now.
See,
Because
I
want to bring people together.
Not break them apart.
Do you remember the joke? Do you remember the joke?
I do remember the joke. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I just talked about dealing with women in their 20s just because they got just a more cheerful outlook and less expectations on what you need to bring. Yeah. That was a different time in my life also. My perspective has shifted since then. I think it's just good to build a foundation early on. And both parties need to talk about what they're trying to do, versus, getting in too deep and then ruining stuff. But yeah.
You feel like you have more leverage within putting things in your music out. You know how people get so serious and sensitive, like in this new world, and I feel like it kind of, in a way, makes it challenging for comedians. So you feel like you got a little more room within the music?
I just do what I think is fun. You know what I mean? People gonna pick stuff. It's just, you just got to do your stuff and lock in on that. And yeah, it's just, you can tell the truth wherever. The thing, as far as expressing in music, because you don't have to play for the laugh, there's a little more room where you can be funny, but you can also, work in metaphor and whatnot, or tell a story or have multiple meanings for stuff. And because you don't have to get that reaction each time, you kind of just have to be interesting and sound dope, or sound like you're having fun, or sound like you truly mean what you're saying. So there's more room to work a little bit creatively in the music.
Man, I'm still tripping off Nudia. I'm still tripping. That was funny.
Y'all broke up the next day?
Yeah, that night.
Whoa,
that night. I had
acting.
a come to Jesus moment. I was like, this is about to be me. Everything he's saying on stage about you wasted up my youth, all these years, they're gone. I was like, that's gonna be me if I don't get out of this. And you were 1,000% right. I know you probably didn't even mean to affect people's lives like that when you made that joke, but it definitely did for me.
So was it a joke or was it real?
I mean, it was like, because I didn't get it, because I didn't think it was funny, cause I was just like in my young 20s. So I was like, what do you mean? Like, I have all this time, So, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Man.
Did y'all ever have any rebound stuff?
Of
was it a
course,
clean break?
course.
Okay.
You gotta worry.
I was like, was it a clean break, or was it like how these things?
It was messy, but I knew after that what was gonna happen if I continued.
Yeah.
At least I knew what was gonna go on.
Yeah.
But I mean, who has clean breaks nowadays?
It's tough. It's those nights get different.
And congratulations.
And it's good to go to a comfortable place. Was that
on your daughter? You said she's 17 months
17
now.
months old, yeah.
I gotta add some claps in that. Sorry, I gotta.
Yeah, 17 months old.
Fatherhood is, man, it's real out here in the field. How is it being you got a daughter? That's I feel like it raises a man. Well, it brings out a difference in a man. And you know, how has it been within 17 months of being with your lovely daughter?
You know, my daughter is biracial. Initially, I wanted a son. When I found out I was gonna have a girl,
that joke came back in your mind?
No. I was like, oh man, I want a son, football. But now, for this child, I'm glad it's a girl, because I couldn't imagine just tailoring my life around some light-skinned dude. You know what I'm saying? Just to...
You know what? I gotta take my glasses off.
Just some little light-skinned dude. Wipe your own.
Dang, man.
It's been nice, man. It's nice watching her grow and learn and experience the world, and looking at old videos. This is one old video where, you know, she was first doing tummy time, and she might have just been a couple months old or something like that, when 3 months old maybe, when she was doing tummy time and struggling, and you know they be, I mean, yeah, you got it, come on. And so now she's walking around and moving about, and, you know, experiencing the world and grabbing stuff, and, you know, she got a couple musical instruments. She got her little synths, a drum, and when she, you know, she'll mess around with stuff, and so it's nice watching a human develop and be able to communicate what they want, and it's nice. And so I be reading to her. I be reading her. I read her stuff at bedtime, but then during daytime sometimes I just read her boring stuff that I want to read. Because it's just about getting them exposure to the words. Yeah, and so it's just, you gotta make it somewhat interesting. But I like it too, because when I read what I want to read aloud, then I'm absorbing it more too. So she's getting exposure to these words, and I'm, you know, getting some work done. But I was reading her some book. It was just a book, just different essays from strategy officers from different companies. Just, you know, not for a 1-year-old, like not what they would pick up on their own. But I was just reading it to her, and she just started like taking off her shoes. She just started taking off her shoes. Like, okay, I guess. And she did. Eventually just knocked out, dog. It's like, yeah, there it is. There it is.
That is hilarious. Wow. She was like, nah.
She just started,
nah, I ain't trying to hit his not tonight, Daddy.
Yeah. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? Day before yesterday, she was over, and I started reading something else to her that was the untethered soul. I was reading that to her. She like light fight. It does not an aggressive fight, but she kind of show that she don't want to hear that. She like start putting her foot on the cover and whatnot.
Probably trying to kick the book.
Yeah, she's trying to kick the book and stuff. But she not like aggressive about it and disrespectful, but she just kind of lightly kicking. But then eventually she started grabbing, take the shoe off. But I let her, you know, walk off and go play with some regular kid stuff.
It sounds like you gonna have your hands full. Oh, you was about to have your hands full. But it's a blessing, man, to see, you know, how you co-created something. Now you know they start to grow up and rise
girl dad,
up.
Hashtag girl dad.
Girl dad.
Yeah. We watch Mandarin videos. There's these Mandarin for baby videos. So and that's fun because we get to learn together. I don't know Mandarin either. So we get to learn together. Yeah, we learn Mandarin together. So we just, you know, I can count on some of my. I hope she's retaining more than I am, because it'd be one ear, one. I got the counting a little bit. E, R, S. That's 1, 2, 3. Choti, that's stairs. Shafa, that's sofa.
We don't know either. You could be making this up.
We done brought the
I got
dead
a few.
out.
I got a handful.
We done brought the dead out of Hannibal.
So we'll see. I'm like excited, but it's nice to see. You can just plant all these seeds of information, and hope that they absorb it, and then you see. We'll see next year.
Yeah.
This next year we'll see if those seeds blossom and she just started just spouting off in Mandarin and Spanish and whatnot. I'm hoping she trilingual because she can be able to do a lot.
No, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen because you already starting to plant them seeds now.
Right.
And I see we done brought the dead out of Hannibal up in here. Yeah.
Eshu Tune.
Yeah, this is
Hannibal.
definitely Hannibal. Yeah. Switch out of
Daddy Burger Feet,
Yeah.
DJ Burger Feet.
Well, now let's get Eshu Tune back out, because you have a single.
Knee brace. Shout out Halle Supreme on the beat. Classic Studios. We recorded that in July. Devin was a recording engineer. My homie TK, mixing engineer, and Jenna Anast helped it come together. Also, it was. I'm really excited about this record. It's fun.
The cover.
Yeah.
What type of knee brace is that on that cover? I ain't never, and I told my ACL a couple of times, so I know about knee braces.
Yeah. The knee brace. The idea came from. I bowl a lot. I'm really into bowling, and sometimes if you bowl solo, you can bowl really fast. You know what I mean? And so I'll bowl solo. I'll bowl when I'm into it. I'll bowl 10 games by myself. You know what I mean? 10, 15 games. And so if you form that right and you bowling kind of fast, that can put a lot of pressure on the knee. So I kind of bowled too much over the course of a few days. And then I was panicked and went to Walgreens. That's probably the most I ever spent at Walgreens at once, because you don't spend too much at Walgreens.
It sounded like you grabbed the shopping cart that day.
That's my first time ever going triple digits at Walgreens.
Wow.
I bought a knee brace. I bought CBD cream. I bought all this stuff. I was just panicked. It was just, I just needed to rest. But I had the knee brace, and it was just like, well, what if somebody came over and then it was like I got this knee brace and I was like, and so that's where the initial idea came from. And then we were in the studio. Halle played a beat, and then I was thinking of some stuff in my head, but it kind of felt generic cool guy raps. It didn't fit, and so I just looked up weird words, and like, what if I look up these weird words? And then I started writing around these weird words. Bumfuzzled, snollygustered, collywobbles, and started kind of writing around them. And it was just fun to say them. It was fun. I had fun. Just, the first version of that I cut, I just fell down laughing in the studio trying to hold it together. And so, it was a fun song to make. And we, initially it sounded a bit too goofy and loose, so I asked for another beat. And then over that beat, it still retained the goofiness and fun, but it sounded a little slicker a little bit. So it kind of got a good mesh of, for me, just, slickness, but still really silly. Like the rapping is solid. So it's a fun track, man. Been performing it, and it's a bop, man. And people I'm excited to have it out. I'm excited. I do it multiple times at the show. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do it once a cappella, and I do it regular style, and I do it plus 20 BPM sped up.
Oh, it sounds like tonight gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I put on a show. It's Chop Shop tonight.
For those to get in tune with Eshu Tune, let them know how they can follow. And I heard you speaking on some more new music, the common things.
More new music is you can follow it Eshu Tune on socials, and Hannibal Buress also, just in case I forget to put it on the Eshu Tune. So I'm not that separating of the thing. And then go to my SoundCloud. The Veneers remix with Danny Brown and Paul Wall, that's up on my SoundCloud. We haven't been pushing it yet, but we're gonna do a video. But that's up for if anybody want to check that out. Just for the fans, that's up. And then Knee Brace, I'm working Knee Brace. I already got a footwork remix done. I'm gonna put out the acapella, let the people
Oh,
do what they
wow.
want to it. Yeah, yeah, we going.
That's smart.
That's actually great.
Man, it was amazing having you here. We thank you for taking our time to stop by. Shout
Thank
out to
y'all.
Kristina too, in the
Yeah.
background doing her thing
And thank
on
you,
the
Morgan,
camera. And
our
Morgan,
digital producer.
y'all gonna
Yeah.
see some photos pop up on our IG at Vocalo Vocalo. And yeah, we got this exclusive loaded up, Chicago, man. Y'all get y'all Shazams ready.
Yeah.
Download that Vocalo app so you can see what we're playing and take us with you wherever you go. Matter of fact, introduce your single.
Hey, it's Eshu Tune right here, November 11th, live from Chicago, WBEZ Navy Pier with the Ferris wheel in view. You know what it is. Produced by Halle Supreme, recorded here in Chicago at Classic Studios. Knee brace, let's go.
Hit it from the back with my knee brace on. The Velcro part keep catching the thong. Shawty acting out. Shawty acting out what? Shawty acting out,